if you're about to buy your first camera, then stop. I'm going to save you from making the same 5 mistakes that I made when I was buying my first camera. Now, if you want to make the same mistakes that I did, then by all means, carry on. Skip this video. But for those of you who don't want to make the same mistakes, then stick around because I'm going to be dropping some game.
Now get on with the video.
I'm just going to ignore that. Anyways, I had been making videos with my iPhone and the point and shoot camera that I had on and off for like a year or so. And don't get me wrong, everything was great, but it just felt like something was missing. And I actually couldn't put my finger on it. All I knew was that my videos didn't look a certain way. Like they didn't look the way that movies looked. So I thought to myself, like what do they have that I don't have? And the only dot that I could point it to was a professional camera. Hey Malcolm, come on bro, I didn't know nothing about cameras back then. Hear this guy, and then boom, I bought the A7 III. And I was so sure, that this camera was gonna level up my filmmaking, turn my videos into movies. I was wrong. Hey Malcolm, what are you doing, bro? Come on, man. Anyways, if anything, my videos looked worse. Using a camera was completely unfamiliar to me. If the images weren't coming out completely blown out and overexposed, they were coming out super grainy. And as you can imagine, at this point I was wondering, did I actually get the wrong camera? And I even thought, maybe I need to spend more money. But luckily, I did not. I actually learned how to expose properly. And then from then, I just started doing more and more research, started learning more about my camera and its capabilities. Because before that, all I knew about it was like a bunch of numbers and specs. But that didn't really mean much to me because I didn't know what it meant in the practical world. I just knew a couple numbers. And some of those specs weren't even relevant to me or like what I do with a camera. But that was my first mistake. If I knew then what I know now, then maybe I might have not got an A7 III as my first camera. Who knows? And with that, we move on to mistake number 2. When I was browsing for a camera at the time, I was so excited about getting a new camera, especially because it was a professional camera. I was thinking, a new camera, this and that. But I didn't have at the forefront of my mind the reason why I was getting a camera. What I didn't realize was that not all the fancy specs and megapixel this and megapixel that would actually be relevant to what I was doing. And because my knowledge of cameras was so limited, I was watching all these videos about how really good autofocus is good, high megapixels is good. I just put it in my head that I just need a camera that's got good autofocus and a high number of megapixels. But guess what? I actually shoot 95% of my videos in manual focus. So a camera with good autofocus isn't really relevant for me. Sure, sometimes I'll use autofocus, but for the majority of the time, I won't need it. So I don't necessarily need a camera that's got amazing autofocus. Just good autofocus would be enough for me. What I should have been more focused on was whether the camera could shoot in 10-bit, because obviously the A7 III can't, it can only do 8-bit. And the 10-bit camera would have been so much better for me because I color grade a lot. So getting an 8-bit camera wasn't the best idea. Don't get me wrong, I still love the A7 III. I still think it's an amazing camera. Mistake number 3, buying a camera is not a single cost. You don't just buy a camera and then you're done. There's other things that you need to factor into the budget as well. Things like lenses, which can be more expensive than the camera itself sometimes. And I didn't do that. I just bought the camera and didn't budget for the lenses at all. And then in the end, I had to go and buy some cheap vintage lenses for like £30. Don't get me wrong though, those vintage lenses were really good. Like I'll put the link in the description if you want to go and get them because they were actually very good. And for £30 as well, that's very cheap. But I got lucky that I bought some really good ones because at the time my knowledge of lenses as well was very limited. So me getting some good ones was literally just luck. And you might not always be so lucky. Also, depending on what camera you get, the costs, they don't just stop there. If your camera doesn't have a flip out screen, then chances are you might have to go and get an external monitor as well if you're maybe filming yourself and you want to be able to see yourself properly. Which also ties into the previous tip about knowing why you're buying the camera in the first place or what purpose it's going to serve for you. And let's not forget tripods, SD cards, storage, lens filters, microphones, the list goes on. Mistake number 4, not considering future needs. When I was buying my camera, I literally had a tunnel vision All I knew was that I wanted to make cinematic content, but I didn't think about, as my skills evolved, other things that I'd want to be getting into, like filming myself. And guess what? The A7 III doesn't have a flip out screen. So for a long time, filming myself was a struggle. Like, it was so draining. I remember I had a tiny mirror on top of the camera that would sort of mirror the LCD screen, and seeing out of that, it was terrible. So many shots were out of focus. The framing wasn't right a lot of the time. And on sunny days, I could barely even see anything. Just a disaster, to be honest. Like, stuff that should have taken, I don't know, 10 minutes to film could sometimes take half an hour. That's how bad it was. But yeah, I got fed up and went and got an external monitor, which obviously dipped into my pockets even more. Mistake number 5, not understanding sensor size. Now, this is a crucial one because it's going to determine what kind of lenses that you buy in the future. So for example, if you buy a full frame camera, then you're going to be buying full frame lenses. And obviously if you buy an APS-C camera, you're going to be buying APS-C lenses. And obviously each types of these sensors have their own pros and cons. For example, cameras with full frame sensors usually perform better in low light conditions because the sensor is larger and it's able to capture more light. But yeah, me myself, I prefer full frame cameras. But at the same time, APS-C cameras, their lenses tend to be cheaper as well. And obviously that's really good if you're on a budget. But I guess do your research and find out whichever one is better suited for you. For example, if you're not going to be doing much low light shooting, then maybe you might not need a full frame camera. So yeah, just think about it. Anyways, if you've watched the video up until this point, then you're a real one. And obviously I need some real subscribers to come along for the journey. So hit that subscribe button and hopefully I will see you on the next one.